One of my favorite things about the internet is being tracked online. Oh yeah. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy knowing that companies like Facebook are looking out for my best interest and compiling all sorts of data about me, like my gender, age, race, the websites I visit, the content on those pages, everything I've purchased or am considering purchasing, the terms I'm searching for, what friends I most interact with, both online and in person, and all of that same information about those friends. It is so kind of them to do that for little old me. It's going to be fine. There's no way they'd ever use this data to manipulate me, my thinking, my buying habits, or things like elections. It's just fake news. The world is flat and JFK was an alien. I don't care what you say, I've seen the picture. Seriously though, if you don't like being tracked, then I have good news for you. Apple is about to give you more control over who can track you on their devices. On the contrary though, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. If you're into e-commerce, especially dropshipping, and depend upon targeted ads on platforms like Facebook, well, this could be the end. Game over. Adios. Sayonara. See you later. So if you're in e-commerce and you want to stay in business, then pull yourself up a chair and let's talk about why you may find yourself on the wrong side of a data privacy debate. Data privacy, it's not a new topic. It's been hotly debated for quite some time. And that's why we have GDPR in Europe and have been considering similar laws in the US. Apple is taking a big stand on data privacy and giving users control over their data by making changes to iOS 14 that allow users to decide whether businesses can track the things they do across the internet. According to Tim Cook, CEO of Apple and fellow Auburn alum, War Eagle, we believe users should have the choice over the data that is being collected about them and how it's used. Facebook can continue to track users across apps and websites as before. App tracking transparency in iOS 14 will just require that they ask for your permission first. That sounds like a good thing, right? There's no way you, as a consumer, could see that as anything but a positive. Your data under your control. That's exactly as it should be. Who could possibly have a problem with that? Well, unfortunately, a lot of people, probably including yourself, if you truly understand the consequences. The problem arises because we've pretty much built the entire e-commerce industry on the lack of data privacy, and according to Facebook, this iOS update will change the internet as we know it. These changes will almost certainly cause a sudden shift in the pricing, effectiveness, and availability in online ads on platforms like Facebook. With this shift, e-commerce could see huge decreases in its profitability, and this could be the end of the dropshipping business model as we know it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to outline what Apple's actually doing, why Facebook thinks this is a bad idea, and how this will impact the e-commerce industry. Then, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing to prepare your e-commerce business to survive. Apple isn't banning tracking. It's simply forcing its users to choose who they'll allow to track them. But really, who wants to be tracked?
No! God, please, no! No!
So without actually banning tracking its users, Apple is effectively banning it by giving them the capabilities to opt out and forcing them to choose. Facebook has started a major PR campaign aimed at swaying opinions against this new data privacy functionality. The ads titled "Apple versus the Free Internet" are them trying to leverage political tactics to win you over. Now, why would Facebook be against data privacy? Well, it's because Facebook likes money, and your data is highly profitable.
Don't underestimate the other guy's greed.
Without tracking, they won't have the level of visibility into your online activities to effectively target ads like they currently do. That means the ads are less profitable for merchants, so they're not going to pay as much for them. That's definitely bad news for Facebook's bottom line because the majority of their revenue comes from the ad platform. I want to be very clear here in case you're confused. Facebook is on the wrong side of this debate. They're arguing to save their business model and profitability, not because they think it's the right thing to do or that Apple is encroaching on your rights to a free internet. Quite the opposite. A free internet gives you a choice of whether you want to be tracked. Their basic argument is the same one used in many other industries when new information, consumer habits, or technology threatens to change their business models. Facebook's basic argument is that our industry has been built on exploiting the fact that consumers have no control over their data, and man, that is a lot of money. These are not new arguments. You'll recognize these same arguments in industries like fossil fuels versus clean energy. A lot of people will be negatively affected financially because we've been doing it wrong for a long time. So let's just keep doing it that way, despite now knowing better. It's a terrible argument, but it's been used effectively so many times that I understand why Facebook would try to utilize it. I doubt it works this time, so it looks like these changes are actually going to happen. So how is all of this going to impact you? Well,
fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
The trick to profitability in e-commerce is very much in ad targeting. Without it, things are going to get a lot more complicated. Right now, if you know that your products are really interesting to old, fat, white guys that really like bourbon, then you can easily get an ad in front of me. That allows you to pay more for ads and still be profitable compared to just showing the ad randomly to people that may not be interested. Without targeting, your cost of customer acquisition is going to get a lot more expensive.
I want a bajillion dollars.
A reduction in the effectiveness of targeting means that more advertisers will be competing for the same, less targeted views. Now that should drive down ad costs because they aren't as valuable, but it means that small businesses are more directly competing with the big advertisers for the same views. The lack of tracking across the web may also make highly profitable retargeting ads nearly useless. I'm not trying to claim that Facebook won't have any targeting. They still know a lot about the people who use their platform, and this change, for now, is iOS only, although I figure other platforms will soon follow suit. More established businesses that have diversified their traffic sources should be able to survive and possibly even thrive, but if you are completely dependent upon targeted ad traffic, you need to be worried. The entry-level dropshipping business model is very much in trouble. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about dropshipping from a logistical standpoint. I'm talking about the business model of finding a single or small number of products, throwing up a Shopify store, and running targeted ads to drive traffic to it. It's pretty much the business model that every e-commerce guru on YouTube is trying to sell you a course on.
This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme.
The keys to that entire business model are high-performing ads on Facebook. Without ad targeting, it's going to be nearly impossible to build this type of business without finding other reliable traffic sources. If you run an e-commerce business, then you need to be prepared. Anytime your business is completely dependent upon another business, you're vulnerable. Don't settle for just Facebook or anything, really, being your only traffic source. Look at other ad platforms, invest in your organic reach, create content. Make the investment to diversify your business's traffic sources and lower your risk, and do it now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this an overreaction, or does this have the ability to change the e-commerce landscape as we know it? It's coming, so I guess we'll see soon enough. It's always a pleasure talking to you, but it's time for me to get back to my bourbon. My name is TJ Gamble, and I'm an e-commerceaholic. I'm also the CEO and founder of Jamerson, where we help businesses like yours achieve their e-commerce growth goals. There are so many things that must come together for an e-commerce business to be successful, and we can utilize our experience to make sure you have all of those bases covered. When you're ready to take those next steps and grow your e-commerce business, go to jamerson.com/go and let's get started. If you aren't quite ready, I've popped up some other videos here that should be of interest to you. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.